In this fast-paced world, it's very, very important for you to really take care of yourself or have a self-care routine, because you can lose yourself very easily, you can be burned out very easily, and setting boundaries is very, very important when it comes to self-care. And so no one should be able to tell you how to take care of yourself in a way that is detrimental to yourself and others, because self-care is something which is very personal and is a personal right that you actually achieve on a weekly basis. And in this week's video, I'll be sharing with you all how to take care of yourself or how to practice self-care with this 5 or more research-based tips on how to do self-care in a way that you're going to be feeling really energized, good, and happy about yourself throughout the whole entire week. So if you're interested to find out the tips, then please keep watching this video till the end. But before sharing out the tips and the research-based tips in general, I want to talk about what is actually self-care and what is its definition, which is right in front of you right here. And that is, self-care is a sustainable and holistic investment in our minds and bodies. It involves taking good care of our physical health as well as emotional health. So as you can see from the definition of that I've shared with you all, it's very important for you to take care of your mind, soul, and body in a way that you're going to be feeling energized and good about yourself the whole entire week, as I mentioned before. And why it is self-care so important, and for that is very self-explanatory. Number 1, it means that you're taking yourself as a priority. Number 2, you're making self-care as a habit. And number 3, you're making sure that you're setting boundaries and having a time for yourself where you just think about yourself and do nothing else, because self-care is crucial when it comes to your steps to success and feeling your best self and most successful self. So now I'm going to be jumping straight into the tips and different aspects of how to take care of yourself in those aspects. So the first aspect, or the first area where you can take care of yourself in a manner which is really good for your health, is physically. So physical care is extremely important, and there are 3 ways that you can take care of yourself according to research. Number 1 is making sure that you're getting regular medical checkup, medical care to prevent any kind of diseases or potential diseases. And I do this practice every single day. For example, I take vitamins every single day, or minerals and all those kind of things, to make sure that in my next blood test or a blood test checkup, I know that there's nothing about deficiency and stuff. So that can be a really good way for you to prevent any kind of potential disease. For example, I'm going to make sure that I have, let's say, folic acid tablets every single day to make sure that I don't become anemic or any kind of things. I don't know if they even link together, but I just wanted to give an example. Number 2 is making sure that you are taking time off yourself for a day in a week, and that could be a really good way for you to really take care of yourself. For example, every Sunday, maybe you can tell yourself that from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'm going to be taking care of myself and think about nothing else. And number 3 is, of course, very self-explanatory, which is eating well and sleeping well and waking up in an early time and all those kind of things. Those are pretty self-explanatory, and that you may have heard in all other kind of videos as well. So to recap, number 1 is making sure that you're taking up any regular medical checkup to prevent any kind of potential diseases. Number 2 is making sure that you are taking time off yourself for a day in a week. For example, Sundays is usually a really good time for people. And number 3 is, of course, doing the basics, which is eating well, sleeping well, and waking up well. And yeah, that will be the first aspect that you need to take care of yourself right now. The second aspect on how to take care of yourself is a really, really interesting one, and that is psychologically, or the psychological area of your life. You can do this in 3 different ways. Number 1 is reading as much as literature as possible on different kind of fields that are quite different than yours. For example, as you might already know, I'm a law student or a law graduate, so I basically read all about laws and stuff. But one of the areas that really interests me in general in my free time is psychology and how psychology works and everything. So I get the time to actually read about psychology and human brain and all this kind of thing. That's really, really interesting to me. And the number 2 way is to making sure that you're listening to your thoughts, feelings, ideas, or whatever you might be feeling in that moment, and just trying to feel it and not question it itself, and accept the way you're feeling for the next few minutes or maybe 5-10 minutes, and see how you're actually feeling and what the body is trying to tell you. Because sometimes when we are rushing all around, we don't really care about what our feelings, and we don't care about what we're feeling in general. So it's very important for you to take your time out and really feel what your body is feeling. So whenever you're feeling anxious, feel it. Whenever you're feeling depressed, you might feel it. When you're feeling happy, feel it that as well. So all the kind of emotions, whatever they might be, just feel it for the next few minutes. Number 3 is making sure that you're able to say no to things that you do not want to do and you don't want to take extra responsibilities. For example, if you have, let's say, Sunday is your self-care day, and you know that your friends might be telling you to go to a party or something, in that moment you should be able to say no, because that's something that you're going to be putting a boundary on, and telling yourself that you're not going to be compromising your self-care routine for a mere party or a party where you might not even enjoy. So it's very, very important for you to take care of your psychological being as well, to become the most successful and happy version of yourself every single day throughout the whole entire week. So if I had to recap the 3 tips, number 1 is making sure they're reading literature outside your field. Number 2 is listening to your thoughts and feel it in the present moment. And number 3 is being able to say no whenever you need to do extra responsibilities and setting boundaries in a very, very good way. Next aspect, which I think is one of the most important ones that you can actually take care of yourself on a daily basis, not just weekly basis, is emotional well-being and emotional aspect of your life. So you can do this also in 3 different ways. Number 1 is loving yourself unconditionally and on a daily basis 24/7 for the 365 days of the year. That is a really hard thing for you to achieve, but I've shared many kind of tips in my previous videos on how to love yourself and all this kind of thing. So if you want to get any kind of tips on how to do that, then please keep watching the recent videos of mine, or maybe here or something like that, I don't know. And the number 2 way is making sure that you allow yourself to cry whenever you need to, and do not suppress your emotions. And this goes for both females and males, because I know that males find it a harder way for them to express themselves because they fear that they're going to be judged for expressing themselves. But I believe that men should be rewarded for expressing themselves and for taking themselves out and expressing their emotions and crying for things that might be bothering them, instead of being judged. So I think that this is the kind of society we should be building in, where both of these sexes should be able to express themselves and allow themselves to cry whenever they're feeling something low, maybe low energy, low mood, or whatever that might be. Number 3 is making sure that you're spending time with quality people, or people that make you genuinely happy, that you trust, that you care about, that you love them. And in that way, you're going to be feeling really good about yourself, and your heart and your emotional health will be feeling really good as well. So if I had to recap the 3 different ways, first one is making sure that you're loving yourself unconditionally, all your flaws, all your talents, all your weaknesses and strengths, whatever that might be, you're accepting yourself for who you are. Number 2 is making sure that you're allowing yourself to cry whenever you need to, especially if you're feeling low, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling anxious or depressed, or that whatever that might be. And number 3 is making sure that you're spending quality time with the people that you genuinely love, trust, and care about. And this will be the emotional aspect. Number 4 aspect of your life that you should be taking care of yourself on a weekly basis is spiritual life or spiritual well-being. And this is purposely the last one, because this is the most important one, the one that should go on top, number 1 out of every one of them, because this is so important. And spiritual well-being is connected to your soul, and you want to make sure that your soul is equally happy, as well as your body and your heart and all those kind of things, and also as well as your mind. So you want to make sure that your soul is intact and in a peaceful mindset. So how can you achieve that in these 3 different ways? Number 1 is spending more time in nature, such as going to park, going to maybe looking at your garden, or going to your own garden and just spending quality time there just by yourself, allowing the air to just come in your face and touch your face and all those kind of things. That can be a really good way for you to really get that spiritual well-being awakened, so that you feel much better inside you and you feel peace. Number 2 is making sure that you identify what is your purpose in life, whatever that might be. It can be related to something that you want to achieve in this life, or how you want to live in this life, or whatever that might be, something that is making you push yourself harder to make sure that you can achieve that before you actually pass or leave this world and all those kind of things. So it's very, very important for you to really discover this as early as you can in your early youth, so that you can achieve, you have the life that you actually want to live for the rest of the years of your life. Number 3 is making sure that you're open to not knowing everything. So as we're humans, I believe that I'm still a student, and I'm going to be always a student, because there's always so much to learn. There's always new things to learn always. So you want to make sure that you have that mindset, that it's a growth mindset, that I'm open to learning anything and new things and doing new things every single day, because I want to improve myself every single day, rather than just staying the same me yesterday, today, and in the future as well. So these will be the spiritual ways on how to really tackle yourself and get that best health and well-being as much as possible. So if I had to recap, it will be these 3. Number 1 is making sure that you're spending time with nature and going to your garden or whatever that might be. Number 2 is making sure that you're identifying what is your purpose in life, and do that as early as you can. Number 3 is making sure that you are opening to yourself to new things, new experiences, new life, new concepts, new ideas, and new people in general, because our minds are growth mindsets. We should not be fixed in a fixed mindset, because that can be detrimental to our learning new experiences and getting to know new things. So yeah, those will be the tips. This brings me to the end of today's video. I hope you really enjoyed it and found these self-care tips really helpful for you and very valuable to your life. And if you did, then please do like this video, share this video with others, so that others can also take care of themselves in this 21st century, which is very fast-paced, technological, and very in a rushing mode always. And what are some of the tips that you're going to be implementing into your life, whether they might be physically, emotionally, spiritually, or psychologically even? Please comment down below whichever one has been interesting to you, or whichever ones you already do, and I'll be very interested to check out your answers. And if you like this video, then please do subscribe to this channel as well, because I post these kind of videos on a weekly basis, so law school, productivity, self-growth kind of videos. And if you want to find out the scheduling of any kind of category of these kind of videos and when I upload them in a week, then please just do check out my about section, which is very simple, and it will tell you exactly when I post what. And other than that, I will see you in my next week's video.